What's up, you guys? JoDobbi here, the captain and owner of Team NeverSpark. I am accompanied by our lovely Team USA captain for Team NeverSpark, who is...
How's it going, guys? I'm level 69 Weedle, and today we have something very spicy for you guys.
Yes, so we wanted to roll out a lot more Team NeverSpark related content, kind of get an idea of what we have been thinking in preparation for BT-08. So here are our top BT-08 decks to watch out for right out of the gates. Right, Kev?
Oh, baby, you got that right.
Yeah, so as soon as these cards start becoming more available, Carta Magica is literally just 2 days after, and that's the first regionals, followed by regionals after regionals. So we are going to show you the most played decks that could be seen right out of the gate. So we're going to start off with Imperial Dramon. Go ahead and start us off, man.
All right, guys. So Imperial Dramon, obviously, it's a deck that a lot of people have been looking forward to. I myself am a big fan of what it can do. From what I've seen and what me and my homies have been testing, it's obviously arguably probably the best deck coming into this format to see early. You have huge spam ability. For those that don't know, the structure deck Imperial pretty much says when Digivolving, you can spam out a level 4 blue and a level 4 green mon from under it, which then goes into our next point. You're maximizing Jogress. Jogress is the new mechanic for this set, which is pretty much saying if I have two identical mons with the same level, well, not identical mons, two mons with the same level, I could then proceed into what is called Jogressing, which is considered a whole new mon, which opens up a floodgate of opportunities. Next, we have just the ability of blue cards and just options in general with like the memory gain for this deck. So you still have NeverSpark, you still have Ice Wall. You're bringing old cards from like past sets that didn't see much value, but now you're seeing maximum value. For instance, EXVmon, where restanding you gain a memory is huge. So this deck is very huge on memory gaining, spamming out multiple attacks, gaining additional attacks, which is huge. It's OTKing to a whole next level. A card we don't have up here, but you can see as like something to watch out for is a 5-card option called Megadeth. Pretty much this card is saying, hey, I can suspend a mon and bounce a mon. And you'll see later on in this format, bouncing mons is what we've come to the conclusion is going to be very catastrophic for this format.
Exactly. So one of the things you guys have to look at, so key takeaways of kind of like this deck is the ability to burst out Digimon from its Digivolution sources through Imperial Dramon Dragon Mode, allowing you to re-Jogress into a new Digimon that can actually swing. And depending on the inheritables that you bring out, all of these Digimon that are swinging could be unsuspending, could have jamming, and could gain you memory off these swings, making it a very, very oppressive and heavy momentum swing type style deck. So if you guys like that deck, set it up, play it. But if you are trying to play around it, removal I think is the best bet, and it's just one of those things you're just gonna have to try and play around. Next, we're gonna be diving into Mastemon, which is kind of like my territory. This is one of the decks in the starter decks as well that is released. So just a key notes, the Jogress power of Mastemon is very broken. So actually when Digivolving, you may place a yellow or purple Digimon from your trash to the top of the security stack. And then when you DNA Digivolve, you can search your security stack for a level 5 yellow or purple Digimon, then proceed to play that Digimon without paying its memory costs. In addition to that, Mastemon also has an all turns effect that actually allows you to delete a Digimon of the equal level whenever you play a Digimon as a result of a card effect. So for example, Hell Scythe. So we're going to be talking about Flame Hell Scythe here, where you can actually reduce an opponent's Digimon by 6k DP for the turn and then play a yellow or purple Digimon with 6k DP or less from your trash without paying its memory cost. There are actually a lot more options in yellow and purple that are 6k DP. Besides level 4s, you're going to be looking at cards like Magna Anjumon, which is really, really good on play, or the starter deck Anjuamon, which actually allows you to provide security attack -2 on one of your opponents on play. These are both Digimon with 6k DP and create immediate gains for you. They're also really good Jogress targets when you are using a card like Gatomon. So Gatomon is another powerful card with on play. Reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You can add a yellow and purple Digimon from your hand, from them and to your hand, and then once per your turn, when you digivolve this card into a card with Angel or Archangel, Archangel or Fallen Angel, you could actually reduce it by 2. So you can digivolve Gatomon into your Lady Devis, your Magna Anjas, your Anjuamons for 1 cost, which is huge gains. And at the end of your turn, you can actually DNA digivolve them on into something else as a result of the inheritable skill. So access to great option cards is one of those things I want to close with in this slide. Chaos Degradation is such a powerful card. No wonder it's 8 cost, right? You can place one of your opponent's Digimon face down to the top or bottom of their security stack, and then you can immediately proceed to trash the top card of their security for the resolution of the effect. Now, if you put a Digimon that they really need to the bottom of their security stack, there's almost no way to ever reach that besides what, like a TK, and nobody's running TK apart from yellow, so that's gonna be a big issue. Any other notes to add on to this, Kev?
No, you hit all the key points. Just another thing, Hell Scythe, I mean, obviously a lot of these option cards have very good security option effects, but even hard playing Hell Scythe, just the ability to -6k to a mon is it's very huge, especially going against certain decks like we'll touch base on later on, like Armor, and just that ability to gaining a mon. I think gaining a mon with 6,000 DP or less is huge. It's going to be very crucial for this deck.
Yeah, and it's not just any Digimon. You can resolve all the on plays in the world. So as long as it's 6k DP and the color requirements are there, just so much gains. Next, we're going to be talking about Weedle's #1 top deck right now. It is the Armor Purge, aka Armor Rush. Take it away, brother.
Alright guys, as Josh stated, this is probably my favorite deck of this format. I've been waiting a long time for this. A lot of people have stated it is a Rookie Rush. It's bringing back Rookie Rush to this meta, and yeah, I can agree with that. So the key thing to this is Armor Purge. Armor Purge, for those of you that don't know, is huge. Pretty much it's saying I can digivolve over Xmon for X amount of memory, and now your opponent has to then kill my mon twice, because Armor Purge is pretty much saving my mon from an attack, which is huge. Next, I mean, we all love Vmon. Jamming Vmon's back, baby. Searching Vmon. We get 2 new Searching Vmons from a structure deck and the main set that just kind of synergize with this deck. Allows you to search for those peaches. Allows you to search for those dual colors, etc., etc. What I like about this deck, and from testing, the OTK capability. For those of you that don't know, Fire Rocket is ever since I read that card, is probably one of my favorite cards of this set. Pretty much Fire Rocket is saying, hey, I'm giving Sec +1 to my mon, and so pretty much a little combo, go into Flame Dramon, have Jamming Vmon under it, swing in with Fire Rocket. If my mon dies to a bigger mon, say security check, what's neat about having Jamming Vmon under it is Armor Purge will activate, saving my mon, and the additional checks will continue to go through with jamming, which is nuts. Another card we forgot to mention, which is probably like a big enabler to this, is Armor Texture. Armor Texture is a 0 option card that pretty much is for you Slide Evolution fans. It gives me the ability to slide evolution for my armor to armor, and then restand for paying its evo cost, which is huge. And last key point that helps making the OTK capability more possible is Davis and Ken. For those of you that don't know, I'm gonna give you a little info about it, which is interesting. For this set, we get the start of main phase for Tamers, which is new to this. Pretty much it's the saying if I have, say for instance, Raildramon in the back, which is a green-blue, when I proceed to raise it, that is the start of main phase, which is then allowing me to activate the start of main phase effect for my Davis and Ken. For this, it is if I have a blue mon, I'll gain a memory, and if I have a green mon, I will gain a memory. What's neat about these dual color cards is I will proc both effects, so I'm getting 2 memory off that.
Exactly.
But the key caveat to this is your turn. When I am to digivolve into a card with 2 colors, I can unsuspend this mon. So it's just a matter of timing your attacks, unsuspending with Ken and Davis, fire rocketing just at the correct moment. Magna is a blocker this set that restands on Digivolve. That's going to be a huge amount of DP because you gain 2,000 per armor in your trash. And the last note I can give you is a lot of these option cards you see for armor, their security effects differ from their actual main effect, but again, with hybrids coming and going, we can see blockers being added to the meta. So fire rocket again, deleting a blocker, hush hush, pretty huge. Josh, is there anything you would like to add about this?
Yeah, so one of the things I actually wanted to ask you, so let's say I've got a Davis and Ken out and my jamming Vmon is given 2 fire rockets, so the jamming Vmon has security attack +1. Let's say I am at 4 memory, so I'm at 2 or whatever, and I go ahead and swing for the 3 checks with the jamming Vmon. Can I digivolve into Flamedramon, for example, suspend Ken and Davis to unsuspend that V and then swing for another 2 checks?
Yes, but a little bit about Fire Rocket. The Sec Plus is only given to cards with armor, so you will have to have a Raildramon, Flamedramon, or something in the raising to come up. But yes. The card states on it, it gives this mon Sec +1. So if I raise up a Raildramon, which is 5k, kind of want it to die. If it dies, the jamming Vmon will continue to have those Sec +1 checks.
Got it. And then if you have the memory, you could go into something else off that suspended V, tap Davis to unsuspend it, and then you will get the more.
And then you will have the additional checks.
Okay, that is horrible. I don't like that.
It is nuts. I'm ready for it 100%.
Oh boy,
coming for you.
Yeesh. All right, we're going to the next deck here. It is Security Control. Now, there's many different ways to play Security Control, guys, but we decided to use the boss monster Ophanimon in this scenario just to communicate Ophanimon's effect. Now, Ophanimon actually is dependent on the Digivolution cards of Ophanimon, if I'm not correct, right? When Digivolve? Yeah, so if you've got a purple, you can delete a mon of a certain level. I think it's level 4. And then if you have a yellow source underneath, then you can actually recover one. And more often than not, you're obviously going to have Jet Sylphies in this security control deck. So when you're going into Ophani, you're just building up that security stack, making it even more threatening. But I think the beauty about Ophanimon is your opponent's going to try to find a way to deal with it. And when they do, you can actually hard play a purple or yellow level 4 Digimon from trash without paying its cost, which means that, you know, if you previously are in need of a one swing could win you the game and they find a way to delete your Ophani, you can end up playing that, and that could be a very big deal. There's a huge arsenal of options to choose. I've seen black variants, I've seen red variants, I've even seen blue variants of security control. Anything is literally up in the air. With this deck, it's pretty predictable that we could see red yellow being the main one, especially because of this strong option card which is called Crimson Blaze. You reduce the memory cost of this card in your hand by 1 for each of your opponent's Digimon in play, which is already so powerful. However, its main effect is even nuttier. Delete all of your opponent's Digimon with 6k DP or less. Wow. And your opponent can't play Digimon by effects until the end of their next turn. So if you are playing Malo Mayorismon, if you're playing Dandevimon, if you're playing cards like Imperial Dramon, or using Flame Hell Scythe or any of these things, maybe even Mastemon Jogress, you won't be able to bring out these Digimon as a result of card effects. You'll have to wait another turn. And what is nasty about Crimson Blaze is it activates from security, which means that if it hits you in security, if I'm not mistaken, you can't play cards with effects for the remainder of your turn. So you got to think carefully about that swing, which is really big.
Absolutely.
Anything else to add on this?
Just another keynote I would like to add to it. Ophani is a dual color yellow purple
Yes.
card. So now you have options to say Zwart defeat.
Yes.
Evoing over Ophani to Zwart defeat, killing a Tamer is huge, and then obviously if you're running the hybrid and a lot of Tamer package, you have cards like Susano that late game Susano, I mean, is still very devastating.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, some versions don't even run Ophani. Some versions run Susano. It's a good thing you actually mentioned that, because they just straight up go into Susanomon and go full ham. But yeah, okay, so we've covered that. We're gonna dive into the final deck that we've got, actually, that we think will be the top 5 decks right out the gate, and this is X-Antibody. And we know that towards the end of the BT7 meta, a lot of people have been entering locals, entering tournaments, testing X-Antibody to prepare for this set. It is in full force in this set, and every card has an insane inheritable. Some will give it blockers, some will allow it to unsuspend, some will give it reboot, some will allow you to get security attack +1, others will give you memory when you add a Digivolution source. Incredibly insane. And Orumon is such a huge enabler. It can act as its own level 6, or it can be tossed underneath an alpha in order to add for multiple unsuspends. It is a huge matchup deck or matchup based, that versatility, Kevin, am I right? Because
Absolutely.
yeah, because if you're facing set control, you just digivolve into Orumon, and once per turn, if as long as you've got Yuji, you are literally, this guy's not dying.
Guy's protected.
He's protected for sure. But yeah, we're gonna go into Yuji here, and I think Kevin can cover Yuji much better.
So Yuji, for all those BT6 Bond of Friendship, Bond of Bravery fans, it is exactly what
Yup.
Black wanted. It is their version of Matt and Ty. So pretty much Yuji, on your turn, if I am to raise an X-Antibody from my raising area, I gain a memory, huge, and I draw a card, which is also bigly. On my turn, so he's kind of the enabler of the deck. He is, if you find yourself missing Digivolution sources, like say for instance the Sec Plus or the Granting the Blocker, or if you need to add the new boss monster under it, all you simply have to do is tap Yuji, add X card here, bada bing bada boom, now I'm adding to my stack. Now I'm getting these combo pieces I need. It's everything what it needs. Like, it's everything Black Antibody needed.
Yeah, and I think that's just super insane, because if you add like a Dorumon underneath, you're actually gaining 2 memory off, because you raised the next antibody and then you added a Doru. So the Yuji is going to give you a memory, and that adding of that Doru gives you 2 memory, and sometimes that's all you need to really get into that alpha, So it's very, very powerful deck, and honestly, people are like max raritying this deck in preparation for BT-8, so I would not be surprised if right out the gate, people were rushing to get this to play at Carta. Next, we're going into Shivamon. Now, I don't necessarily know too much about this deck, but I did face it testing against Max Para, and it is quite oppressive. It has huge overall board control, because your opponent can't play option cards while your Digimon are suspended, which is very powerful off Shivamon's end, which means it is obviously encouraging you to attack security and suspend your own mons or Digizorb into what you need, suspending your own mons in order to prevent your opponent from using options, which is great, because if your opponent can't swing over Shiva, they're going to try and remove it, and they can't play option cards to remove it. They're going to have to figure out another way to do that. Now, whenever Shivamon unsuspends, you can also trash the top card of your opponent's security if it was suspended previous to your turn, which is super duper crazy. If you can turbo up into 2-3 Shivas very, very quickly, huge oppression, huge problems. Dive into the next 2 cards for us here, Weedle. Let's see what we got.
So these next cards we have coming up, we have the new option. I'm not even gonna bother trying to pronounce it, but
Samadhi
pretty much
Santi.
pretty much summing it up.
Just kidding.
It says It gives you the ability to suspend one of your mons. So say if I have Shivamon and I choose not to attack for some reason, or if I can't attack because I'm stripped, this option will grant me the ability to suspend my Shivamon, and choosing so, I can choose one of my opponent's mon to also suspend it. But the caveat to it is their mon will not unsuspend in their next turn, which is huge. You're taking an attack off the board, whether it's a boss monster, whether it's something they need to execute their combo. For one, it's also very huge. The security effect is pretty much a flower cannon on roids.
Dude,
You can suspend a mon, or which is new, you can suspend a tamer.
that's
And
busted.
we all know, yes, and we all know from last set, tamers are huge.
Hybrid for game. I dare you.
Yeah, absolutely. What I've seen coming on most lists for this deck, they're doing a mixture of DP boosting and a lot of Digisorption cards. So, i.e., the Blossomon Digisorbing for free, going into Shivamon. This whole deck is to, I'm gonna get as many Shivamons out as I possibly can, as fast as I can. So if you can't answer it, I'm hitting you with the comeback burning cards. And what's neat is the trash effect is like you're not getting, say if I trash an option, you're not getting that option's effect. It's going straight to the trash. And of course, everybody's fan favorite, hidden potential discovered. Again, it's just anything that allows me to get into Shivamon faster is the key to this deck. Like Josh stated earlier, it's, if you wanted a control deck, this is the control deck you want to play.
Yeah, I'm actually tempted to try and build this because this looks absolutely insane. I might try to run it with some purple elements as well to make it even more threatening. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure. All right, let's go ahead and dive into Malo Myotismon here, which is one of my key favorite decks in the format. I'm definitely going to be running this because I'm super hyped about it. And Malo Myotismon has a lot of cool things going for it. So, spam ability. Through the use of Yukio, which allows you to play a Malo Myotismon from trash at the end of your opponent's turn, so long as Yukio is suspended by the end of your opponent's turn. You end up deleting the Yukio, obviously, but you can play Malos for free. There are times where I have 3 suspended Yukios on the board. It's very easy to enable, and once you do that, you can fulfill certain requirements to bring out either Malo, depending on the board state and situation that you need, in order to reap the benefits. This new Malo Myotismon is also super duper busted. On play, if you have 5 names of Myotismon, like Myotismon Digimon in its name, in your trash, you can not only delete one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon, but you can trash the top card of your security stack, which is insane. Its when Digivolving effect is also very good at enabling plays, because when Digivolving, you trash the top 5 cards of your deck, and if there is a Myotismon in your trash, you just gain a memory, which is absolutely huge because you can enable your next Malo Myotismon plays without paying too much memory, which I think is huge. And you also have a level 6 out. Myotismon is a huge enabler of Yukio because when Digivolving, you trash the top 2 cards of your deck, and then you can play a Yukio from trash without paying its memory cost. Its inheritable ability is also on deletion. You can play a Yukio from trash already suspended. So if your opponent tries to swing over you, that Yukio's coming out, that Malo's coming out, you know it, and it's so powerful. The memory control is insane because actually, whenever one of your Myotismon Digimon die, you can suspend Yukio to gain a memory, and obviously if you still throw in analog youths in here, you're just gaining more and more memory. So you got a lot of security trashing, spam ability, memory control. That said, this is a pilot skill reliant deck. This isn't a deck that you can just pick up and play and say that it's bad because you lost 5 times in a row. This is going to take a ton of practice, a ton of understanding your matchups, and very good hand to trash manipulation, maximizing your Yukios for that one turn swing where you are bringing out 2-3 of these Malos in one turn, trashing 3 of their security, and having enough swings to lethal next turn without any answer for them. So I think this is a very powerful deck. It's just gonna take some really, like, a lot of practice. All right, so we're gonna go into the final deck of the 3 dark horses. Just so you know, we kind of forgot to say the dark horses in this video are Shivamon, Mallow, and Black War Greymon. We're just gonna start to talk about it a little bit here. This deck is crazy. It's just that big stack, 1 stack board control deck. And Kevin, I want you to take it away for this one.
Sounds good, Josh. Sounds good. So, again, it is another one of those cards added to the set where it's a black and red, which is huge. I've noticed a lot of people from testing have gone red base, so you're getting cards where it's just like very DP boosting, Sec plus Greymon, etc., because again, like Josh stated, this is a 1 stack, all stack type combo. So one of the new cards I like to touch face with is Metal Greymon. So pretty much when digivolving, yes, it's for 4, but the effect says de-digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. So i.e. if you go against armor, I de-digivolve that armor, and then I can delete an opponent's Digimon with 3k DP or less, getting rid of the Vmon. Huge. Next, the boss card himself, which kind of adds the big swings, big damage and board control aspect. When digivolving, if I have a black and red source under it, I can choose to either get rid of 6 costs worth of Digimon or 6 costs worth of Tamers, which again, like we stated before, it is huge, this format.
Yep.
I can choose to either get rid of a 4 cost Tamer and a 2 cost Tamer, 3 cost Tamers, etc. The opportunities are mass.
Yep.
What's neat is the Metal Greymon inheritable pretty much says when this Digimon has a Dragonkin or Machine, which Black War Greymon is, I can attack my opponent's unsuspended Digimon.
Yep.
So with the DP boosting, say for example, you have a Ophanimon or you have something that's just 12, 13k, you're swinging over these mons, you're restanding, swinging again, just complete board control. What's new, what's hot is the new Dark Gaia Force.
Yeah.
Dark Gaia Force pretty much says choose any number of your opponent's Digimon whose play cost adds up to 15 or less and delete them. Awesome.
So
awesome,
good.
Awesome removal, awesome
Yep.
concept. Pretty much, I've seen most success coming from, like I stated before, the red base, your Sec plus, swinging in. For me, if I were to add, say, personally, a secondary Mega to it, we're going back to option heavy formats. So BT-01 War Greymon, the one that prevents you from activating options on security checks, is another card you can look out for in this deck. But again, it's what people like. You go tall, you get these combo pieces, you go burn.
Exactly. So yeah, like these are just 8 of what I think would be the most like cool decks to play in the format. Lots of really awesome choices here, and yeah, the top 5 that we mentioned, keep a lookout for that. That's going to be showing up at major tournaments right off the bat. All right, guys, we just wanted to also conclude this video with some honorable mentions. These are decks that people have been slowly testing. We don't know whether they're going to be super heavy in the format, but Metal Garurumon Yellow Blue Jogress has been really fun looking and really good from what we've seen. Shakumon is a huge enabler of that. Blue Hybrid variants, because that's probably not going to go away with how strong it was last format. We're going to be seeing people who really want to stick to that deck and try to update it for BT-08, so stay tuned to those. Creepymon Mill, a project that I've been working on and having, 50-50 success with. I think it can definitely be used to oppress your opponent in terms of being able to get them to deck out, and that's kind of the motto for me right now. Imperial Dramon Fighter Mode with a lot of source trashing effects and bounce effects, taking advantage of this in its best ability. And Rasenmon double question mark, bro. I have no idea. Someone just mentioned, what about Rasenmon? We were like, what about Rasenmon, right? But yeah, that concludes our video. We hope you guys like it. This is one of many Team NeverSpark videos that we will be working out together to dish. And yeah, Kev, give them an idea of what to expect from the channel moving forward.
So moving on, we plan on taking the next step of our competitiveness and just growing as a channel. So, i.e., we're going to be adding more of our top deck profiles
Yep.
for our teams topping in events.
Yep.
More of these kind of like new set meta baits.
Yep.
What to look forward to, and it's just our goal to give back to you guys. I mean, this team has been going for about a year now. We just want to say thank you for tuning in, and hey, look alive, man. We're coming for you guys, and thank you for everything.
Coming for you. But that said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like the video, subscribe to Team NeverSpark. If you and like the video, comment. Thank you guys. Take care.